Have you ever found yourself wishing you could take back something you said? Words are powerful. They can inspire or wound, build trust or create distance. For the Stoics, mastering one's speech wasn't just about communication. It was a profound exercise in wisdom, self-discipline, and character. Words are more than just sounds. They're reflections of our values, intellect, and intentions. In this video, we'll explore 6 things that an intelligent person never says, rooted in timeless Stoic principles. Through practical examples and relatable stories, we'll uncover how intentional speech can transform the way you communicate, strengthen your relationships, and align your words with your truest self. Stay tuned, because this journey into the art of purposeful communication is one you won't want to miss. 1. Avoid boasting about knowledge. Boasting often arises from a desire for recognition or validation. However, when it becomes excessive, it can lead to unintended consequences. Instead of drawing admiration, it can alienate others and dilute the true value of one's wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, beautifully captured this idea. Nature does not boast about what it creates, and neither should we. The essence of wisdom lies in humility, which allows knowledge to shine through actions rather than self-promotion. This idea becomes clearer through the story of John, a talented tech expert who was known for his impressive achievements. In every meeting, he would eagerly share his accomplishments, hoping to inspire and gain respect. At first, his colleagues admired his expertise. However, as time passed, his constant self-promotion began to create a barrier. Rather than fostering camaraderie, it led to distance and discomfort. Everything changed when one day, a colleague approached John with honest feedback. "Your knowledge is undeniable," they said, "but the way you present it sometimes feels overwhelming." While the words were difficult to hear, they became a turning point for John. He realized that his intent to impress had overshadowed his ability to connect. Reflecting on this, John decided to approach things differently. Instead of focusing on showcasing his expertise, he let his work speak for itself. He started listening more during meetings and supporting his team's ideas. He asked thoughtful questions and offered solutions only when needed. This shift not only transformed the way others perceived him, but also deepened his relationships. Through John's experience, we see a powerful lesson rooted in Stoic philosophy. Wisdom is most impactful when it is demonstrated through meaningful actions. Humility not only amplifies the value of knowledge, but also fosters an environment where ideas and connections flourish. These reflections highlight a few enduring truths. When you let your actions speak louder than your words, your contributions gain authenticity and respect. Embracing humility allows others to discover your value naturally, without the need for self-promotion. And perhaps most importantly, practicing active listening opens the door to deeper understanding and stronger relationships. In the end, wisdom is not just about what you know. It is about how you use it to uplift and connect with others. By choosing humility and focusing on actions, you allow your knowledge to create a lasting and positive impact. 2. Never dismiss others' opinions. Dismissing others' ideas often stems from arrogance and a belief in the superiority of one's own judgments. However, this mindset not only stifles creativity but also erodes trust and collaboration. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You cannot learn what you think you already know." True wisdom is rooted in openness and a willingness to learn from others, no matter how different their perspectives may be. Consider the experience of a young team leader who, early in her career, often dismissed her team members' suggestions. Convinced that her judgments were superior, she failed to see the value in differing viewpoints. At first, her decisiveness seemed like a strength, but over time, it created frustration and disconnection among her colleagues. Meetings became unproductive, and her team grew increasingly disengaged. The turning point came when a trusted colleague approached her with honest feedback. "You have brilliant ideas," they said, "but by dismissing others, you're closing the door to collaboration and innovation." These words struck a chord, forcing her to reflect on the unintended impact of her behavior. Determined to change, she adopted a curious mindset. Instead of dismissing ideas outright, she began asking questions to understand the perspectives behind them. She encouraged her team members to share freely, ensuring that even unconventional or flawed suggestions were treated with respect. Over time, the dynamics of the team shifted dramatically. Meetings became a space for open dialogue, trust flourished, and innovative solutions emerged. This transformation not only improved the team's performance, but also enhanced the leader's own decision-making. By embracing diverse perspectives, she gained insights that she would have otherwise overlooked. The shift reinforced a vital truth. Even ideas that seem flawed at first glance can offer valuable lessons or spark new directions. These reflections emphasize the importance of approaching conversations with curiosity rather than defensiveness. When you listen actively and with an open mind, you create an environment where people feel valued and motivated to contribute. Collaboration thrives when diverse perspectives are respected, leading to richer outcomes and deeper connections. Ultimately, true leadership and wisdom are not about always being right. They are about fostering a culture where everyone's voice matters. By valuing the opinions of others, you not only grow as an individual but also empower those around you to reach their full potential. 3. Refrain from complaining without purpose. Complaining, particularly about circumstances beyond one's control, often amplifies negativity and disrupts inner peace. It can drain energy, foster dissatisfaction, and alienate those around us. Marcus Aurelius offered a timeless perspective on this, saying, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True strength lies in focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. This lesson is vividly illustrated in the story of Peter, a seasoned professional whose frustrations often got the better of him. Peter frequently vented about workplace inefficiencies, difficult colleagues, and personal setbacks. While he believed that airing his grievances would relieve his stress, it had the opposite effect. His constant complaints began to weigh on his colleagues, and over time, he became known more for his negativity than for his talents. One day, a close friend challenged Peter with a simple but profound question. "What are you doing to fix these problems?" The question caught Peter off guard, forcing him to reflect on his approach. He realized that while he had been quick to point out flaws, he had made little effort to seek solutions. This moment of clarity became the turning point that shifted his perspective. Peter began channeling his frustrations into constructive actions. Instead of focusing on what was wrong, he identified areas where he could make a difference. He took initiative at work, proposing solutions to improve processes and fostering collaboration among his team. In his personal life, he adopted a practice of gratitude, reminding himself of the positives rather than dwelling on challenges. The transformation in Peter's outlook was remarkable. By redirecting his energy toward what he could control, he not only improved his circumstances but also strengthened his relationships. His colleagues, once weary of his negativity, began to see him as a source of inspiration and leadership. This story underscores a few essential truths. When faced with frustrations, ask yourself whether complaining serves any purpose. Often, the answer is no. Instead, focus on reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. By taking constructive action, you can turn obstacles into stepping stones. Ultimately, life is full of situations that test our patience and resilience. While it is natural to feel frustrated at times, it is our response that defines us. By choosing to act with purpose and gratitude, you can transform negativity into strength and create a more fulfilling life for yourself and those around you. 4. No empty promises. Promises are the threads that weave trust into the fabric of relationships. When made with care and fulfilled with consistency, they build strong connections. However, breaking promises, whether through neglect or overcommitment, can unravel this trust, leaving behind doubt and disappointment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of the importance of integrity with his simple yet profound advice. Let your words be plain and true. Honesty and follow-through are the cornerstones of credibility. This truth became painfully evident to Greg, a busy professional juggling the demands of his career and family life. Greg often found himself promising more than he could deliver: an extra family outing, a quick catch-up with a friend, or a task completed by a tight deadline. While his intentions were good, his inability to keep these commitments began to take a toll on those around him. His colleagues grew skeptical of his assurances, and his family, particularly his young daughter, started to lose faith in his words. One evening, Greg found a heartfelt note from his daughter that read, "We just want you to mean it when you say it." Those simple words struck a deep chord, forcing Greg to confront the gap between his intentions and his actions. He realized that while he had been striving to please everyone, he was inadvertently letting down the people who mattered most. Determined to change, Greg adopted a more thoughtful approach to his commitments. He began pausing before agreeing to requests, carefully assessing whether he could realistically follow through. Instead of making sweeping promises, he opted to underpromise and overdeliver. This shift not only reduced the pressure he felt, but also rebuilt the trust he had eroded. Greg also took ownership of his past missteps. When he broke a promise, he addressed it promptly with sincerity, offering a genuine apology and a plan to make amends. Over time, his colleagues noticed the difference, and his relationships with his family grew stronger. Greg's actions became a living testament to the power of aligning words with deeds. His journey offers valuable lessons for all of us. Before making a promise, take a moment to reflect on your capacity to fulfill it. If you find yourself unable to deliver, communicate openly and find a way to make things right. Trust is fragile, but it can be mended through accountability and genuine effort. In the end, the promises we make and keep define the integrity of our character. When our words and actions align, we not only strengthen our relationships, but also reinforce our own sense of purpose and responsibility. By honoring our commitments with sincerity and care, we create a foundation of trust that stands the test of time. 5. Don't deny your mistakes. Mistakes are inevitable, but how we respond to them defines our character and shapes our relationships. Denying or deflecting blame may feel like self-preservation in the moment, but it erodes trust and prevents growth. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of truth over ego, stating, "If someone is able to prove me wrong, I will gladly change, for it is the truth I seek." Admitting mistakes is not a sign of weakness, it is a testament to strength, humility, and the pursuit of truth. This principle comes to life in the story of a leader who faced a significant challenge after a project she managed resulted in unintended consequences and backlash. Her first instinct was to deflect blame, rationalizing that external factors or team oversights were at fault. However, as the dust settled, she realized that avoiding accountability would only compound the problem and damage her credibility. Instead of shifting blame, she took a different path. Gathering her team, she acknowledged her mistake openly. "This outcome is not what we hoped for, and as the leader of this project, I take responsibility for where things went wrong," she said. Her honesty was followed by a sincere apology and a clear plan to address the issues and prevent them from recurring. Her decision to own up to her mistake had an immediate and profound impact. Rather than losing faith in her leadership, her team's respect for her deepened. They saw her vulnerability not as a flaw, but as a strength. By taking responsibility, she set an example that encouraged others to do the same, fostering a culture of accountability and open communication within the team. This experience also became a turning point for the leader herself. She embraced the idea that mistakes are valuable learning opportunities. Instead of viewing errors as failures, she reframed them as stepping stones for growth and improvement. This mindset not only made her a more effective leader, but also cultivated an environment where her team felt safe to take risks, share ideas, and learn from setbacks. The lessons from her story are clear. When confronted with a mistake, resist the urge to protect your ego and focus instead on resolving the issue. Acknowledge your role with sincerity, and use the experience as a chance to learn and grow. By doing so, you demonstrate integrity and build trust with those around you. Moreover, creating a culture where accountability is valued begins with leading by example. When you show that admitting mistakes is not just acceptable but encouraged, you inspire others to do the same. In the end, it is not perfection that earns respect, but the courage to face imperfections with honesty and a commitment to improvement. 6. Don't overshare future plans. Sharing future plans can be exciting, but oversharing can create unintended pressure and lead to overcommitment. When we announce plans too soon or agree to too many things, we risk creating expectations we may not fulfill. The Stoics, with their wisdom on intentionality and restraint, remind us of the power of discretion. Marcus Aurelius succinctly advises, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Measured words and actions allow us to stay true to our values and commitments. Jim's story highlights this lesson. A kind and ambitious individual, Jim had a habit of agreeing to every request or opportunity that came his way. Whether it was volunteering for a project at work, committing to social engagements, or promising to help friends, Jim rarely said no. At first, his willingness was admired, but as commitments piled up, cracks began to show. Deadlines were missed, promises were broken, and relationships started to fray. The turning point came when a close friend, disappointed by Jim's failure to follow through on a promise, confronted him. "You don't have to say yes to everything," they said. "We'd rather you commit to less and mean it than promise too much and let us down." These words forced Jim to reflect on his actions and the imbalance they created. Determined to change, Jim began practicing mindful restraint. Before agreeing to new commitments, he paused to assess whether they aligned with his priorities and capacity. He learned to set boundaries and, when necessary, to say no without guilt. Instead of scattering his energy across countless tasks, he focused on fewer, more meaningful commitments. This shift not only improved his reliability but also deepened the quality of his work and relationships. Jim's newfound approach was liberating. By prioritizing what truly mattered, he delivered with excellence and fostered trust. His ability to say no became a sign of self-awareness rather than selfishness, and those around him appreciated his honesty and intentionality. This story carries important lessons. Before agreeing to something, take a moment to consider whether it aligns with your values and capacity. By being selective and intentional, you can channel your energy into what truly matters, ensuring that your commitments are meaningful and achievable. Remember, saying no is not a rejection of others. It is an affirmation of your priorities and a commitment to quality over quantity. Oversharing or overcommitting might temporarily please others, but in the long run, it's the promises you keep and the excellence you deliver that build trust and respect. By practicing restraint and intentionality, you create space for deeper connections and a life aligned with your true purpose. Our words are powerful tools, shaping our character and the world around us. By embracing Stoic principles of humility, openness, and intentionality, we gain the ability to communicate with authenticity and purpose. Each time you speak, ask yourself, are my words building trust, deepening connections, and reflecting the values I hold dear? This journey isn't about achieving perfection, it's about striving for alignment, ensuring that what you say resonates with your actions and your truth. When your words are intentional and sincere, you elevate not just your own life, but also the lives of those you touch. If this video inspired you to think more deeply about your words, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Join us on this path of wisdom, growth, and connection. Let's create a community where our words truly matter, one conversation at a time.